Tyrannosaurus is the best-known predator to ever walk the earth, and for good reason. Roaming the floodplains of western North America some 68 to 66 million years ago, at the very end of the Cretaceous, this animal represents the apex of theropod evolution. Adults stretched over 12 meters long and could weigh more than 8 tons, yet despite this bulk, growth studies of specimens like Sioux reveal a staggering adolescent growth spurt, packing on nearly 2 kilograms a day during the teenage years. Its bite remains the most powerful ever measured in a terrestrial animal, exceeding 34,000 newtons, enough to crush bone rather than simply slice flesh. Binocular vision rivaling modern hawks allowed precise depth perception for ambush attacks on Triceratops and Edmontosaurus. Recent fossil evidence even hints at complex social behavior, with trackways suggesting some individuals may have hunted or traveled in loose groups, challenging the old image of a solitary killer. Giganotosaurus ruled a very different world, one that predates Tyrannosaurus by roughly 30 million years. Emerging from the Candelaros Formation of Patagonia during the Cenomanian stage of the late Cretaceous, this Carcharodontosaurid reached comparable lengths, some estimates pushing past 13 meters, though its skull carried thinner, blade-like teeth built for slashing rather than crushing. Instead of pulverizing bone, it likely opened massive wounds and let its prey bleed out, a strategy suited to hunting titanosaurs many times its own size. Bone beds containing multiple individuals have fueled speculation about pack behavior, with paleontologists proposing that groups may have coordinated to bring down juvenile sauropods. Its brain, proportionally smaller than a tyrannosaur's, suggests instinct-driven hunting over calculated strategy. Discovered in 1993 by amateur fossil hunter Ruben Carolini, it briefly held the title of the largest land predator ever found. Spinosaurus remains the most bizarre and hotly debated of all the giant theropods. Living in the river systems of Cretaceous North Africa around 95 million years ago, within the Kem beds of Morocco, this animal broke almost every rule of typical theropod anatomy. Its elongated, crocodile-like skull housed conical teeth ideal for gripping slippery prey, while dense, thickened bones acted like ballast, helping it stay submerged. A tall neural spine sail ran along its back, its exact function still argued over by scientists, weather display, thermoregulation, or simple species recognition. Recent tail fossils, remarkably flexible and paddle-shaped, strongly support a semi-aquatic lifestyle spent hunting large fish like the sawfish Onchopristis. At over 15 meters, Spinosaurus may be the longest predatory dinosaur known, though whether it hunted primarily in water or along riverbanks continues to divide the paleontological community. Carcharodontosaurus prowled the same North African river deltas as Spinosaurus, making the Kem region one of the most predator-dense ecosystems ever discovered. Its name, meaning shark-toothed lizard, reflects serrated teeth that could reach 8 centimeters long, designed for slicing through the tough hides of sauropods like Paralititan. Skull fragments suggest a head over 1.5 meters in length, among the largest of any carnivorous dinosaur. Unlike the robust build of Tyrannosaurus, its frame was leaner, built more for covering ground efficiently than for raw crushing power. Living alongside Spinosaurus raises intriguing ecological questions, since two apex predators sharing territory typically avoid direct competition by targeting different prey or habitats. Fossil material remains frustratingly incomplete, much of it destroyed during a World War II bombing raid on a Munich museum, forcing modern researchers to rely heavily on later discoveries from Morocco and Algeria to reconstruct this shark-toothed giant. Mapusaurus offers some of the strongest evidence yet for group hunting among giant carnivorous dinosaurs. Unearthed from the Huincal Formation of Argentina, dating to roughly 97 million years ago, this close relative of Giganotosaurus was found in a bone bed containing at least 7 individuals of varying ages. Such an assemblage hints that Mapusaurus may have lived and hunted cooperatively, perhaps targeting the enormous Titanosaur argentinosaurus, an animal far too large for any single predator to tackle alone. Reaching around 12 meters in length, its skull was long and narrow, lined with blade-like teeth suited to a slashing feeding style similar to its Carcharodontosaurid cousins. Growth rings in its bones suggest individuals reached adult size relatively quickly, possibly an adaptation for surviving in a landscape dominated by colossal herbivores. Its name honors the indigenous Mapuche people of the region where it was discovered in 1997. Acrocanthosaurus dominated the forests and floodplains of early Cretaceous North America, roughly 113 million years ago, leaving behind some of the most detailed trackway evidence of any giant theropod. Distinguished by tall neural spines running along its spine, forming a low ridge rather than a true sail, its exact purpose likely involved muscle attachment or visual display rather than aquatic adaptation. Measuring up to 11.5 meters, it was the apex predator of its ecosystem, preying on massive sauropods like Sauroposeidon. A remarkable trackway site in Texas shows parallel footprints that may represent an Acrocanthosaurus stalking or even attacking a sauropod, offering rare direct evidence of predatory behavior. Detailed brain endocasts reveal keen senses of smell, suggesting it tracked prey over long distances. As one of the last great Allosauroid line predators before Carcharodontosaurus diversified worldwide, it occupies a fascinating transitional position in theropod evolution. Tarbosaurus reigned over late Cretaceous Mongolia around 70 million years ago, and its close kinship with Tyrannosaurus has fueled decades of scientific comparison. Some researchers even classify it as an Asian species within the genus Tyrannosaurus itself, reflecting how similar the two animals truly are. Reaching up to 12 meters, it possessed a narrower skull than its North American relative, with a locking mechanism between the lower jaw bones that prevented dislocation during violent struggles with prey. The Nemegt Formation, where most specimens are found, preserved an ecosystem dominated by massive hadrosaurs and titanosaurs, giving Tarbosaurus few competitors for the apex role. Exceptionally complete juvenile skeletons have revealed dramatic changes during growth, with young individuals possessing longer legs suited for chasing smaller, faster prey before adulthood brought the bone-crushing bite of a mature hunter. Allosaurus closes this lineup as one of the earliest true giants among carnivorous dinosaurs, hunting across the floodplains of late Jurassic North America around 155 to 145 million years ago. The Morrison Formation, famous for its diversity, has yielded dozens of Allosaurus skeletons, including the remarkably complete specimen nicknamed Big Al. Reaching roughly 9 meters, it was smaller than the later Cretaceous giants, yet its skull mechanics were extraordinary, capable of a wide gape and a hatchet-like slashing bite rather than a crushing one. It likely preyed on massive sauropods such as Camarasaurus and Stegosaurus, sometimes at great personal risk, as evidenced by healed rib fractures and puncture wounds found on multiple skeletons. Some researchers propose that Allosaurus may have engaged in opportunistic scavenging or even attacked prey far larger than itself using rapid, repeated strikes. As a distant ancestor of the entire Carcharodontosaurid and Megaraptoran lineages, it represents the evolutionary route from which many later titans of the Cretaceous eventually emerged.